Well, it's an important tool. I think I'm a big believer in open access for many reasons. I think it democratises knowledge, it helps with knowledge transfer, and while most researchers won't put all their work into open access journals, it's increasingly an avenue for you to really spread your work more quickly. And indeed, now many of the very good journals are making it possible for you to make your articles open access in them as well. So it's a kind of an evolving field. I think there are a number of things besides the ability it gives you to get your work out quicker. Is often open access journals also have an open review policy, and I think that is a very good thing for publication as well, and for, again, democratising and bringing honesty into the review process. So when I am publishing any of my research, I make strategic decisions about where is this piece of work going to go that's based on where it can have the most impact. And that doesn't always mean the highest impact journal in that sense, based on impact factors. I do a lot of work with industry, and when I do industry related research, I know that they want their other industry partners in their community to be able to have access to this research as well. And often those people won't be able to access university types of databases. So if I'm doing industry work, I will often say to that partner, would you like us to publish this open access? And we work out a way to fund that and do that. So that's probably my prime reason. But also, if I've got a piece of work I want out fast to support a grant application, then I will often make a decision I'm going to get this into an open access journal, so that by the time they're reviewing my grant, if they do a literature search, they'll very easily in a moment be able to come up with my research. So they're basically my key reasons. It's all about access, first of all, and again making sure that everyone that you want to have access to your research is able to do so. And I think that's a fundamental principle of research, that it should be available to everybody in our community. Research is funded from the community, so the community should have easy access to your work, and there shouldn't be barriers in place. I think I'm watching with interest to see how open access affects citation rates. I haven't been publishing long enough, I guess, in open access to see whether it'll make a difference, but I'm optimistic that it might, and I think that that's something to consider, but it's a perhaps for me whether it does that yet. If you're publishing your work in open access, it's just so easy for your students to get access to that information. They can just do a Google search, they can click on it immediately. So again, it's just all about sharing information, which is what you really need to do if you're a researcher. If you're an academic and you're considering open access publication, obviously you need to put it in a journal that is listed with Scopus, which gets counted for ERA, so you want it in a reputable journal. There's no doubt that there are some open access journals around that are just that aren't reputable and that are really kind of there as a commercial venture. But it's not difficult to work that out. Does my work need to be made easily accessible? Is there an open access journal that is suitable for my particular piece of research? Do I have the resources to publish this particular article in an open access journal, because there is a cost involved? And if I don't have those resources, look at ways to get those resources. Well, to be honest, I think that's a bit behind the times. I mean, really, as I said, a lot of the very good journals now are giving you the option to make your work open access, and that's because the only reason why higher impact journals are doing that is because they recognise that this is a competing force. There is research to show that for citation rates, which for an academic is one of your prime outcomes, you can publish a lot of papers, but if no one cites it, in a sense, it's just not having any impact. There's research to show that there is a movement towards journal articles in sort of the middle realm as really taking over, that's starting to take over the high citation rates. So I think that right now researchers really need to think about some of the ideas they may have had about where do I need to publish to get high citation rates, and perhaps challenge some of those ideas. I think looking down on open access journals is an out-of-date opinion, to be honest with you. Well, I would just say that I have used open access journals for pieces of work where I've been trying to push a research agenda and get grant funding, and I think it's contributed to that. It's never the whole story. If you don't have good solid work and all the other pieces, having an open access paper is not going to do the trick on its own. But I think as part of a sort of a comprehensive strategy of communicating your research and becoming known more as a leader in your area, I think open access is one of the tools that we have at our disposal.